Good morning. Hi, it's Capi. I'm from Always in Stitches in Noblesville. And for those of you who've been following my English paper piecing journey with this particular quilt, she's done. Hallelujah. Um, this has been a really cool journey. Some of the background that you maybe didn't know about what was going on with this was I actually had a fire in my home during the time I was making this quilt. And so she was rescued as part of that. And so I had started her, the fire in the house happened, and then this quilt was salvaged. We lost a lot of things in the house, but this survived. So this really represents a journey for me. I think all quilts represent journeys for us in some ways, depending on whether they were made for someone else or for ourselves. But every time you pick that thing up, you remember the life things that were happening while you were making that quilt. So that's why, in a lot of ways, this quilt's special for me. And I tell you that because I think we have to remember that our quilts are really works of art. And at the end of the day, I actually had this long arm finished by our long arm quilter on a machine. And I've caught some grief about that. And that's why I'm telling you kind of the journey with it. I think we have to start remembering that everybody makes things for different reasons, that perfection is not really the only goal in making a thing. And sometimes we make it just because we want to experience the knowledge and the ability and the skills to make it. Now, when we make samples here in the store, we're really specific about wanting them to be exactly the way the pattern's made, and we want to do our best work so our customers can see it. But I think sometimes we almost do a disservice because in reality, when I stitch for myself, I don't make it perfect. And this is not perfect. So if it was to be judged in a quilt show, I'm sure somebody would say, you know, this color's wrong with that color and this stitch isn't perfect. But for me, this represents perfection, and I call it my opus. I mean, it truly feels like that at this point. Not to say that I haven't already started looking at what the next project will be, that I'm sure will take this to a new level, but in any case, it's done. For those of you that have been watching the journey, I did decide to go with this pink that matches this pink, and I love how these play off of each other. I did go with the purple for the binding, which kind of did a funky thing because I bias cut, so you don't have the little dots here, but then they return here. And initially when I saw that, I was like, oh man, it's not consistent all the way around. The binding kind of sometimes has purple dots and sometimes it goes to a solid color. And initially I was like, okay, I got to rip it all off and put it back on. And then I had the little conversation I just had with you about, no, wait a minute, this is what it represents and this is okay. And it actually almost gives it some dimension so that this part almost looks like it's turned under a little differently and curved. So that was cool. So I thought, well, that's okay. That's part of the journey. I think we have to quit quilt shaming ourselves and quilt shaming other people, because at the end of the day, it's art, and you have to recognize that it's not perfect. Should you learn how to make a perfect 1/4 inch? Should you learn how to square up a quilt perfectly? Absolutely. Get the knowledge, but when it doesn't turn out perfect, don't beat yourself up. Allow yourself the opportunity to just enjoy the process of making it. So there it is. I mean, you guys have kind of followed this journey from beginning to end, and now she's done. So
what are some of the motifs? Can you walk us through like all the different motifs that the quilter used?
The quilter and I really spent a lot of time talking to each other, and I wanted this background here to just be very flowing. So this is very airy, kind of a lot of movement, very random. It's not specific to the design it's contained within. But when we got to like these snowball pieces, she selected, and I love what she picked, is this round piece with these little loops that help bring that snowball, and she repeated that motif on every single snowball. So you have that repetition. And then on the stars, to kind of help get the movement, if you see there's a swirl, kind of a little swirl in here, but she didn't do the points at all, so that they almost have a trapunto effect. I'm not sure how much that shows up on the picture that you're taking through the video, but the stars almost are trapunto. But you get movement in these stars because of the way that it's been quilted. And I think I said it the other day on the other video, it's like this is the icing on the cake. I mean, I could certainly make something but not do the fun stuff afterwards. She did some kind of feathers in here, which is, those are the swan heads, so those are feathers, which was really fun. And then these kind of have the same flowery little hearts. See the little hearts in there? Because there's little petals on the hearts. So when she did the long arm quilting, what was nice was once she created the motif for this particular one, she repeated that motif again. And the same goes for the stars. In here, she's got this circle again with a feather, kind of a feather fan thing going on, which I love. And then these, she did very geometric. Look how this kind of just mirrors itself. And then this one, we're back to that circle. Because I think circles in this quilt are so important. You have the snowballs, you have the little hexagons. I mean, they're circle-ish. So I think it draws in from that shape. And then on the back, because, you know, party keeps going on the back, we'll turn it over, is this piece here. And what's nice about that, and I haven't trimmed that up yet, but you can really see the quilting. I don't know if it shows.
That shows really nice.
Does it show nice? Yeah. So you get the sense of the quilting. But you know what? I haven't trimmed the back yet. I spent some time.
His tail's right in the center.
That's cute. That's just how it landed. But that's for the back. So, you know, now what am I going to do with this quilt? My husband, when he saw it, he's like, well, we have to hang it in the living room. I'm just going to tell you, this doesn't match my living room decor at all. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to hang it in the living room. It'll probably hang above my desk in my office, I would guess, in the back for now. I did tell my husband I was going to put it on the floor for a rug, and he's like, no, you can't walk on it. I'm like, you wash it. It's, you know, it's no big deal. But there she is. She's done. Thanks for those of you who went on this journey with us. If you want to continue to see, I've got another project. I've been working on bloomers. I like Tula bloomers. It's a cool pattern. It's very repetitive, and what I loved about this was it's like each time it was something different. So I'm looking at Passagalia, which, it's like the Home Alone kid. Oh my gosh. It's a huge quilt, but it's got so much variation. I think it would be fun. So stay tuned. We'll see if I jump into that or not. But I appreciate all of you who followed these videos, and please, if you got questions or comments, don't hesitate to get a hold of us. That's our website right here, www.alwaysinstitches1.com. And my email is actually Capi, C-A-P-I, it's like a baseball cap with an I, at alwaysinstitches1.com, same extension. If you want to send me an email or anything, I'd be happy to chat with you. We've had people call. That's our phone number here at the shop if you want to give us a call. I'll talk to you over the phone if you want. But thanks for watching, and thanks for being part of this journey. She's my friend. You know how by the time you finish a quilt, you feel like you're best friends. And don't anybody quilt shame it, though. Don't shame yourself and don't shame others, because it's art, and that's what should make it fun for you. So thanks for watching. Happy stitching.